Good morning, traders. This is Bill Olson, your trading anchor for NewsWare's Trade Talk. Let's get into the action today. Listen, I'm watching the S&Ps. The S&Ps are up 0.03. They're flat. They were higher. They were up about 0.1%. They've recently, pulled back, which, I'm expecting, to see a little volatility this morning. I am seeing some gains in autos and healthcare. Retail stocks, travel stocks are all looking good. The economic calendar today is light. There are a host of key reports out this week, especially Fridays. That PCE report, that's going to be a big one. Everyone's going to be watching that. And Wednesday is a big day too, because Wednesday after the close you get the Fed stress test, the results from that. So, those are 2 days to be watching on. On the earnings front, we got a lot of earnings coming out this week. Carnival Cruise, Progressive Software, FedEx, Micron, Walgreens, McKesson, and Nike are all scheduled to report this week. The banking sector, banks are a little higher this morning, which is good. But, the sector's really on watch because of these, pending elections that we have going on in France and the UK. I think France is on Sunday, and July 1st is when the UK is doing their elections. In Europe, we are seeing some positive action in Europe. So, specifically in the autos and the banking sector, which is good to see. You get the DAX up 114 points or 0.63%. You get the FTSE trading higher by 42 points or 0.52%, and the CAC is up 68 points. That's 0.9%, which is very positive. The autos are really showing some strong gains because, there's talk about, the EU and China getting together because they're going to agree to start talks related to the intentions of the EU to put tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. China came back and said they're going to put, tariffs on pork products, but that's nothing compared to what the EV would do. So, they really need to discuss this and try and work something out. London, we're seeing some weakness in, the mining stocks in France. Hey, these upcoming elections in France, have really had the market on edge, especially last week. But recent comments from Le Pen, which is, the one of the candidates, have been easing market concerns over the weekend, so that's causing a little bounce back in French stocks, and up 0.9%. That is a positive. Then we're looking over at Asia last night. Asia was really a mixed bag. We did see the Nikkei. The Nikkei jumped 208 points. That's 0.54%. The Bank of Japan, in their recent meeting, they talked about a possible rate hike in July. There could be some intervention in the Japanese currency, which, could be beneficial. But, at the end of the day, the market did rise at 0.54%. Hong Kong was lower for most of the day, but it actually finished up flat. It was down 0.81. That's less than 1 point. That's flat on the day. Financial stocks gained while tech and property stocks fell. And Shanghai, the Shanghai Composite has just been a sea of red lately. It closed under 3,000 this morning. So that's kind of that's real negative. When it breaks that 3,000 level, markets are convinced that China needs to do more to stimulate their property sector, because that property sector has really been a drag on its economy, and it shows. So China was very weak. Now we're keeping an eye on oil prices, because oil prices are key. We're seeing some gains in oil this morning. It's up about 0.5%. WTI is at $81.14, whereas Brent is at $85.65. Don't know if they're going to be able to see much more gains in oil. We had last 2 weeks. We had some good weeks. Stockpile data could show a draw, which would, if that does occur, that will help keep prices elevated. But Israel came out over the weekend and said that they're talking about reducing hostilities in Gaza. China economy not doing well. That could dent demand. So we got to really keep a look on that supply figures coming out of China, and we'll see how what oil does this week. But it's flat. It's up 0.5% today. So we'll see if they're able to hold those gains. Okay, let's move on. Earnings. There's nothing going on in earnings today. No good earnings came out. But after the bell today, we got NPAC Tool Group. That's ticker EPAC. Elvis, Paul, Apple, Charlie. Their EPS is 0.47, 47 cents. Expected move is 8.78%. Tomorrow morning, we got Carnival Cruise, ticker CCL, Charlie Larry. They're expected to lose a penny. Expected move is 6.92% when they release. Okay, there's more better earnings coming out later this week, that's for sure. In terms of economic reports this morning, we get the Dallas Fed manufacturing survey that's coming out at 10:30 a.m. In terms of Fed speak, we're going to be hearing from San Francisco Fed Bank President Mary Daly today. She's going to be speaking at 2 p.m. Friday's really going to be the big day when we get that PCE, personal incomes and consumption report that's due out. That's going to be the highlight of the week. That PCE data, that's going to be key. And as I said earlier, Friday, on Wednesday after the close, the Fed's going to be releasing the result of its annual stress test. They talked about their living wills. They on Friday, they didn't really like the living wills. But they never seem to like the living wills. But the banks are saying they can, draw down their business activity if need be, in case there's a type of scandal on the big banks. But we'll have to wait and see what they come out with Wednesday after the bell. Okay, let's take a look at these markets today. I mean, we're seeing some gains in the FANG stocks. Apple's trading a little lower, but everything else seems to be showing gains. In terms of the Dow stocks, I'm showing 8 lower, 8 lower and 22 higher. So that's positive on the Dow stocks. I do like to see that. UNH is interesting. I think it's really low. It just got an upgrade this morning. Nike trading a little higher. Earnings are coming out this week. McDonald's got some price target upgrades. I mean, I was following this last week. I like McDonald's. Especially at the 250, low 250 range, and now it's trading 260. IBM trading higher. Got some upgrades this morning to Boeing. Boeing's a little weak this morning. But let's take a look at some of the news that's hitting the tape this morning, like Apple. Apple's flat this morning, but, the EU is opening up an additional non-compliance probe against Apple under digital market apps. We'll see. I think this is not that. I don't think this is really going to be affecting Apple too much today. It might cause some initial weakness this morning. Amazon, ticker AMZN, they're said to be looking into improving the profitability of their Alexa, which lost about $5 billion in 2022. If a paid tier is not offered, look for them to make more operational cuts in that division. What else do we see? We've shown some gains in Meta platforms this morning. Apparently, Apple has held talks with Meta and AI startups, Anthropic and Perplexity over potentially bringing over their technology into Apple's intelligence platform. Tesla, hey, mark your calendars, August 8th. That's a big day. They're going to be having a robo-taxi day. That's something to keep an eye on. I think Tesla's got its problems, but, the idea of robo-taxis is positive for the stock. Okay, let's take a look at these Dow stocks going on this morning. Boeing, ticker BA. Apple. U.S. prosecutors recommend the Department of Justice criminally charge Boeing as the deadline looms. J.P. Morgan, Fed regulators are questioning the bank's ability to wind down operations in case of the failure. They also said the same thing about Goldman Sachs. I mean, it is true. It would be very difficult for them to do. It's possible. Conditions have to be, good, but it's hard for these big banks to wind down. And I mean, the derivative positions they hold, when a feeding frenzy happens, everybody goes on the sidelines and they wait for things to go lower and lower. And that's what happens, especially with financial institutions. Let's talk merger news. Ticker VSTO, Victor, Sam, Tom, Oscar, Visa Outdoors entered into an amendment to a merger agreement with Czechoslovakia Group. In terms of shareholders meetings, NEO, ticker NIO, they're having their annual meeting today. That's going to start at 10:30 p.m. It's too late for me, but I'll be reading about it tomorrow morning. In terms of buyback news, Prudential, ticker PRU, the UK insurer Prudential is planning a 2 billion share buyback as part of its efforts to boost shareholder returns. That's all positive. And that's really what I see in terms of news hitting the tape this morning. So let's move on. Let's go on to our pick of the day. I got to go with Meta Platforms, ticker META, Michael, Edward, Tom, Apple. Listen, we saw some real weakness last week in the stock, but that positive news flow this morning and general positivity going on, continuing to go on with these AI stocks are going to be helpful to the stock. I look at Friday's call volume: 208,296 calls versus 131,554 puts. Open interest: 1,107,525. Calls versus 759,373 puts. Yeah, that's really positive. Major brokers still like the stock. They got buy recommendations on it. They got price targets around 550. So I think last week's weakness is not going to last. Listen, if I can get into this stock, and I'm going to say, I'll say 495 to 496, somewhere around that range. I think this will be a good thing. I mean, right now the stock's trading 496.50 on the bid, to 496.60, 496.98 on the offer. So if I can get in low 496, I think that would be an excellent opportunity, because I think this stock is going to be showing some gains in the real near future. So that's my pick of the day: Meta Platforms, ticker META. Okay, let's talk about what's hot off the press, what's moving markets this morning. Let's see, what do we see here? Let me open up my platform here. Bang. Ticker BOF, Boy Oscar Frank. U.S. Army selects branch out food products to field test to enhance MREs. Interesting. CrowdStrike being added to the S&P 500, that's positive. CRWD. Walmart, ticker WMT. Walmart's got a couple things going on. They're offering a new product line. Hot, spicy foods, and I see that Walmart's expands its free HIV screening to 18 pharmacies in Colorado and Virginia. That's all positive. It's only up 4 cents. I like that news on Walmart. Apple, JP Morgan's best pick in Edge AI. Let's see what else. JP Morgan out with a note on political uncertainty. Likely to keep weighing on Eurozone equities this week. Yeah, true. It's higher today, though. Markets concerned with softening growth, according to Morgan Stanley. Bristol Myers announced that the FDA accelerated approval for Kratzati for the CRC. Interesting. Let's see what else we got here this morning. Aero Pharmaceuticals, ticker ARWR, they're going to be presented at the American Diabetes Association scientific session today. A Target, TGT, they announced a deal with Shopify on expanding the assortment of goods on their website. That's interesting. It's good for both companies. Ticker SHOPN TGT, Tom Grace Tom. Oracle announces general availability of Oracle's Clinical Digital Assistant. Okay. FedEx, they're releasing earnings tomorrow afternoon. The stock could move over $18 when that announcement comes out. NVIDIA signed a deal to employ artificial intelligence technology at data centers owned by a Middle Eastern group. China's ByteDance is working with Broadcom, AVGO, to develop an advanced AI chip. Broadcom's trading higher, this morning on that news. A United Parcel, ticker UPS, they're going to be selling its Coyote Logistics business to unit to RXO for a little over $1 billion, $1.025 billion, company said yesterday. Flight attendant union for Alaska Airlines said on Friday that they reached a tentative agreement with the carrier, ALK. Eli Lilly, on Friday it came out and they said that its popular weight loss drug, Zepbound, helped to resolve moderate to severe obstruction in sleep apnea up to 52% of patients in 2 late-stage trials. That's really nice. You're seeing some nice gains in Lilly this morning. Under Armour, ticker UAA, they agreed to pay $434 million to settle a 2017 class action lawsuit accusing the sports apparel manufacturer defrauding shareholders about its revenue growth, which they were likely to do. I mean, not surprising. Let's see what else is going on here. Biogen got positive response from a European Commission for multiple indications. Okay. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Okay, let's move on and let's take a look at our pick of the day on Friday. How do we do? Listen, we went with Las Vegas Sands. That was ticker LVS, Larry Victor Sam. Stock opened up at $44.75, fell to $44.53, and then just steadily moved higher the rest of the day. Hitting a high of $45.44, which beats the 1% goal. Off that opening price. So yeah. And you look at LVS this morning. And the stock's hold at 45.90. It's holding some nice gains. So LVS winner. I mean, it was a good day for Las Vegas Sands. We like the way that stock traded. So Las Vegas Sands was a winner on Friday. And that's what we have for you in terms of news hitting the tape this morning from NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast. Listen, this is how I get my news every morning. I go through NewsWare. It's got the best professional sources you can ask for. This is why you do with it. You can't get the news off the web because the news on the web is already old. It's already priced in. You need to get it while it's hot before, everyone gets access to it. That's why you need to have a professional news filtering source with access to the professional news wires, not these stuff that's on the web that is, typically irrelevant as soon as it's placed out there. So, Go to newsware.com. Sign up for a trial today. And we look forward tomorrow, and we'll tell you how we did on today's pick, Meta Platforms, tomorrow morning. All right. Again, thank you for listening to NewsWare's Trade Talk.